We're in a moment of technological acceleration unlike anything the world has seen before. 5 years from now, life will look radically different, and the shift is already underway. I'm Rachel Wilkins, and this is The Good News Is, a show about what's next and how to meet it with curiosity. Each week, I'll talk with the thinkers and builders that are shaping the future, from the evolution of money to digital land, on-chain fashion, and even space travel. Let's get into it. Today, I am sharing something a little different, a talk that I've been working on for a few weeks titled The Spirit of Transformation. It's about 3 revolutionary shifts that are happening right now beneath our noses: how we heal, how we connect, and how we create. I originally wrote this as a TED Talk, but I realized these ideas need to reach you first, my fellow optimists and curious minds. Because here's the thing, while everyone else is focused on the fear and disruption, I want to show you the signal through the noise, the remarkable transformations that are quietly reshaping our world for the better. So settle in and let's talk about why we're not just witnessing disruption, we are witnessing the birth of something extraordinary. Did you know that between 1837 and 1903, humanity invented the light bulb, the telephone, and the automobile? That's within the lifespan of a single human being. In that short stretch of history, our entire way of living and moving through the world changed forever. That's the scale that we are at now, except today, we are not walking through it. We are sprinting. My name is Rachel, and I started the Good News Studio in 2022 to tell better stories about technology and the future that we are racing towards. Not the dystopian headlines that dominate our feeds, but the remarkable transformations that are happening right beneath our noses. Today, I want to take you on a journey through 3 pivotal revolutions that are reshaping our world: how we heal, how we connect, and how we create. Because while the pace of change can feel really overwhelming, I believe we're not just witnessing disruption, we are witnessing the birth of something extraordinary. All right, let me paint you a picture of where we are heading. We're looking at an imminent present where brain-computer interfaces will allow paralyzed patients to control robotic limbs with just their thoughts. Isn't that wild to comprehend that that is the moment we're in right now? Companies like Neuralink are already conducting human trials, and the early results are looking really promising. We're not there yet, but we are closer than most people realize. We're living through the greatest healthcare revolution in human history. AI systems are already detecting certain types of cancer with accuracy rates that rival specialists, and in many cases surpass them. Wearable devices are getting sophisticated enough to predict cardiac events, sometimes days in advance before they happen. And while we're not yet growing replacement organs in labs, 3D bioprinting is advancing so rapidly that researchers actually believe viable organ printing is within reach this decade. But here's what excites me most. It's not just about the technology. It's about access. We're actually moving towards a world where a rural farmer in Kenya could access the same level of diagnostic accuracy as someone who has access to the Mayo Clinic. Through telemedicine platforms and AI-powered diagnostic tools, we're beginning to see the democratization of medical expertise that was once confined to expensive hospitals in wealthy cities. Decentralized clinical trials are breaking down geographical barriers, allowing patients worldwide to participate in cutting-edge research. And blockchain technology is securing medical records while giving patients, not corporations, control over their most sensitive data. The future of healthcare isn't just more advanced, it's more human, more accessible, and more dignified than anything we've ever known before. Now, let's consider something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Did you know that Facebook collected 52,000 data points on every single user, on you and your family? Every single click, every scroll, every pause while you read a friend's post was categorized, targeted, and monetized. We weren't users, we were products, and we've been sold to the highest bidder. But what if I told you there is hope ahead? What we're witnessing is the early stages of a new internet, one where infrastructure exists for you to actually own your own data, own your identity, and own your digital presence, where algorithms could work for you and not against you, where your creativity and contributions might be rewarded directly without corporate middlemen taking massive cuts. Now, this isn't utopian thinking. The building blocks already exist. Decentralized platforms are emerging where you can theoretically take your followers with you wherever you go, where privacy becomes a feature and not necessarily just a luxury, where communities form around shared values rather than engagement metrics that are designed to keep you scrolling with no consideration of the impact upon your well-being. Blockchain technology, beyond the cryptocurrency headlines, is creating the infrastructure for this new world. It's shared, it's transparent, and it's a ledger that replaces corporate gatekeepers with mathematical certainty. It's allowing anyone to transact globally in milliseconds without needing permissions from banks or governments. We're moving away from a system where institutions hold the keys to one where individuals hold the power. This isn't just about technology. It's about returning agency to people. And timing matters here. As we confront urgent AI concerns like deepfakes and misinformation, this decentralized infrastructure offers solutions, better verification systems, tools for digital discernment, and a new way to distinguish truth from fabrication. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. Artificial intelligence and creativity, something very near and dear to my heart. Yes, we've all seen the headlines. AI will replace artists. Creativity is dead. The concern is real because large language models trained on artists' work without permission, and it raises legitimate ethical questions about consent and about compensation. But here's where those headlines miss. We're not witnessing the death of creativity. We're actually witnessing its explosion. The ability to go from idea to execution is becoming astronomically faster. AI video generation tools are advancing so rapidly that we're looking at a near future where creating film quality content could take hours, not months. We're moving towards ultra customization in manufacturing. Imagine a world where you could design and 3D print a perfectly fitted pair of shoes at home. It's going to be here sooner than you think. So, does this diminish traditional craftsmanship? I don't think so. Art is always built upon art. Elvis, for example, influenced the Beatles, who then influenced Oasis, who influenced countless others. The difference now is scale and, of course, speed. And that requires us to think differently about attribution and reward. But consider this possibility. We may be headed toward a world where automation provides broader access to basic needs, where the question shifts from how do I make money from my art to what do I want to create just for the fulfillment of creating? It's a bold thought, I know, but it's one worth pondering as we watch these trends accelerate. Meanwhile, something remarkable is happening in the art world. At Christie's auction house, 8% of the global art market is now digital art. The Whitney, LACMA, MoMA, the Pompidou, they are all acquiring digital artworks for their permanent collections. Curators are saying that the masterpieces of the 21st century will in fact be digital. And these aren't just images. They're systems, they're experiences, they're invitations to participate rather than passively consume. Here's something fascinating that I have observed over 3 years of hunting for good news in technology. Every leap forward creates a counter move backwards. So as we sprint into this digital future, we're simultaneously seeing a renaissance of ancient wisdom. People are returning to ritual, to ceremony, to community in ways that would have seemed surprising perhaps even just a decade ago. I predict we'll see entire communities, towns, even ecosystems built around this integration. Places where cutting edge technology serves deeply human needs for connection, for meaning, and for belonging. This isn't contradictory, it's complementary. As our external world becomes more digital, our internal compass points more towards what is timeless. Historian Yuval Harari said that stories are the stuff of civilization. They help us imagine the previously unimaginable. The story we're often told about technology is one of replacement. AI will replace workers, automation will replace human connection, digital will replace physical. But what if the real story here is integration? What if technology, at its best, amplifies our humanity rather than diminishing it? Every week for the past 3 years, I've challenged myself to find 4 stories that show technology serving the greater good. 4 examples of innovation that make life more human, not less. And you know what I've discovered? That these stories are everywhere. They're just not clickable enough for the algorithms that reward fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The signal is there if you know how to listen for it. So we stand at a crossroads. Down one path lies a future where technology serves concentrated power, where AI makes the rich richer, where platforms extract our data and our attention for profit, where creativity becomes commoditized and hollow. But down the other path lies a future where technology serves human flourishing, where AI augments our capabilities, and where platforms empower creators and communities, and where our tools help us become more ourselves, not less. The difference isn't in the technology, it's in the choices we make about how to use it. I started the Good News Studio, not out of naive optimism, but out of necessary hope. Because the future isn't something that happens to us, it's something that we create together. And if we are going to sprint into transformation, we need to be clear about where we are running. Here's what I believe. I believe we're running towards more connection, not less. More dignity for human creativity, not less. More truth in our information systems, not less. More agency over our digital lives, not less. But belief is not enough. We need to build it. So here's my invitation to you. Become a better storyteller about the future. When you see a headline about AI taking jobs, ask, what new opportunities might this create? When you read about platform dysfunction, investigate what alternatives are being built. And when you encounter fear about technological change, seek out, who is this change serving? And how can we make it serve more people? The sprint of transformation isn't slowing down. If anything, it is accelerating. But we get to choose whether we're running towards something beautiful or running away from something terrifying. I choose to run toward connection, toward creativity, towards a future where technology amplifies the best of what makes us human. The good news is we are not just along for the ride. We're the ones building the road. Thanks for tuning in to The Good News Is. If you're excited about what's next, make sure to follow the show and visit goodnewsstudio.io for more stories, guests, and ways to stay connected. Until next time, stay curious.